Hello guys, and welcome here to the Jello Cup series. This is the round of 8, or this is the last race before the round of 8. Oh my goodness, it's been a long day. There, we're here at the Charlotte ROVAL today. It is the Bank of America ROVAL 400, and today, of course, joining me once again is Austin Shaw.
What's going on, guys?
So Austin, big implications once again. Another road course that is an elimination race. Our second to last road course of the year. I bet there probably half the field is saying yes,
Yeah.
and the other half of the field is saying, I wish we had more of these.
Right.
Of course, one guy who's on a hot streak, it is Alexander Rowe. He's starting on the pole. He can really boost that playoff total today.
Absolutely.
He's not lost in that Blue Death car yet this season.
That's actually, that could be good luck right there.
Sounds like Kyle Busch the first year at JGR with Snickers on the car. I don't know if you noticed that year. Man. Yeah, and then of course the defending champ Patrick Smith, he is on the outside looking in entering this race. So obviously, I'm sure you're going to say he's got to go for broke.
Possibly. I'd do it.
I mean, he only needs a few points to get in, but I'm sure he would love to get a win.
Yep.
Especially here at the ROVAL, one of the trickiest road courses on our schedule.
It is.
And let me put it this way, Robin Miller described it as a monstrosity. He said IndyCar should never run here.
That'd be cool, so.
That'd be cool. Yeah, oh man. I don't know if you should trust Robin Miller or if you should just watch for yourself and see what your thoughts are on it. Of course, it's not IndyCar, but we'll see how these Cup cars get through here today. Anyway, we'll be right back in just a moment after we roll the intro in Austin. I think it's time to get the test car, all right?
Yep.
All right, don't crash it. It is the ROVAL, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Here is a lap at the Charlotte ROVAL. Down into turn 1, hard on the brakes. Up the gears for turn 2. Hard on the brakes for turn 3. Then a right-hander for turn 4. On the back part of the infield roll course for the Charlotte. On the brakes for 4. Then 5. Turn left, and then a left for 6. Which leads you back on to turn 1 of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now this is one of the fastest parts of the track. Turn 1 of Charlotte, turn 2 of Charlotte, onto the backstretch. Brake somewhat hard for the dog leg of the course. Turn 3, turn 4, and then on the front stretch chicane, hit those corners onto the front stretch, and that is a lap at the Charlotte ROVAL.
Alright, you see there. Man, oh man. I'm telling you, we were watching these pace laps, and holy crap.
Right.
If that's anything that indicates what we have in store for this race, I'm pretty nervous.
Right.
I think we did do a race earlier that was a demolition derby.
Yeah.
Oh man. Austin, this is going to be interesting.
Here they come.
And the pace car's off. Austin, here you go.
As they come into the last chicane. The green flag is out. We are racing.
Yeah. Another thing they're going to have to watch for, those turtles. But here we go, down into Heartburn Turn.
This track is awesome.
Hell yeah, it is. And not even gonna apologize for my language. Hell yeah. You see Alexander Rowe immediately takes that lead, and they're doing everything they can back there to get single file because they know this is not a track that you can easily run too wide on. Here comes Patrick Smith though. He knows the 14 is locked in. Now the 43, Tim Randolph, he does have enough points. He should be locked in. Who will join him, Alexander Rowe, and Trevor Collins in making it to the next round? As you see, the new chicane these guys have to go through. See, they run up on the paint.
That's some extra traction.
Kind of like the traction compound we saw at Bristol. Yep. You see the field is slowly but surely separating back there.
We made a clean lap,
and
wow.
Surprisingly a clean lap as Alexander Rowe leads the race. Back there as well in this battle, or not in the battle for the lead, but back there running pretty well right now, that number 4 of Zach Fitzwater. Now he's 12th in the points entering this race. He's going to need a win pretty much to advance. And he's got a battle with his teammate. And clearly no team orders there because Stacy Stickler not giving an inch.
Doesn't look like it.
But their teammate is on a roll. And currently he's got quite a gap over the 35. And 35 must have those Duralast GTs because he got through that corner pretty decently.
That was a good corner.
But of course, looks like the 14 has a better drive off. And the gap's a second now.
It's pulling away.
See, no one's really able to pass, so I'm wondering now, could we see a bulk of the passing on pit stops?
Possibly.
Of course, we still got a long ways to go. Anything could happen. You see there. Yeah, they're mostly single file. I wonder what happened to Mitchell Collins. He is far off the pace of these leaders. He must have either short pitted or he got spun around, would be my guess. Ooh, it looks like Patrick Smith hit one of those turtles a little bit hard.
Looks like he's losing ground.
Yeah, I don't think he's liking the adjustments they made on that car.
No.
You see, he's just trying to figure out how this 14 is running such a quick pace. But he's going to have a lot of adjustments to make on the pit lane. Assuming he doesn't destroy the car on those turtles there. Nine runs it wide, maybe trying to make up some ground on the 15.
A lot of single file.
Yeah, single file all the way back. We won't see that next race at Talladega.
Oh, absolutely.
That should be pure chaos because a championship. Oh, we do have a double file. It's Austin and Charles Sanford there. And the 96 has got a little dent in the side of the car. Wonder what he got into. Oh, someone up ahead just blew up. It's the 52, Usman Hamid.
Ooh.
And he hit a turtle pretty good. And held up some of those leaders there. And he's trying to do what he can to get low, and thankfully he doesn't hit anybody. That's a tough break for Usman Hamid. Oh, another one at the back. The 18 of Samet Ozkan. I'm wondering if some of these guys did in fact pit a little early. So some strategy being played here early. Maybe a 2-stop race versus a 1, or a 3-stop race versus a 2-stopper. Maybe that's why Patrick Smith is also losing ground. Could he be saving to try to make one less pit stop?
Possibly.
And there's a 35 tried to outbrake him. Of course, right now he's just trying to hold off the 15 of Nottingham Scott. Yeah, the gap stays about the same. And actually, looks like Patrick Smith ran a slightly quicker lap that time than the 14 did. So the other thing is the 14 could have been racing very aggressive in that first stint.
Possibly. I wonder if they're going to pit this time.
They might. But you see, the 35 has gotten a hang of this now.
I was right.
Oh, yes, they're going to pit. And you see the 35 tried to close as much as he could coming in. Will anybody play some strategy and stay out? It doesn't look like it.
'51.
Yeah, 51's gonna stay out. Let's see what kind of strategy these guys are gonna play. See, it's 4 tires and fuel. No one really... Oh, the 15 gets held up. So an issue for the 15 and Nottingham Scott, and that's a tough break for him. But out in front is Jeff Scott right now. Probably one of the guys on a 3-stop strategy. And he's going to want to pit soon. Because he does not have fresher tires than these guys that just came off the pit lane.
He's going to get overtaken.
On a track like this, I would not doubt it. And I believe he might come in. He's running low.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and here comes the 51. He realizes he just doesn't have the fuel or the tires to beat these guys with. And look who's closing on the 14.
Here comes the 35.
Again, Patrick Smith. He's battling for his life right now. He closed up a second on those pit stops.
He's there.
I'll tell you, he got him on pit entry, and that's where he got him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but here the big thing is you can catch someone, but it's even more difficult to pass them. And he's going to have to set himself up pretty nicely. Here we go, back onto the oval part. He's going to use that draft and try to close.
He's there, though. He's there.
He's just got to force the 14 into a mistake. See, they maintain the same gap, so...
Didn't lose their game.
Yep. That just shows how strong... Oh man, they must have threw the entire kitchen sink at this car under the pit stops.
Well, he's caught up. He's right there. He just can't make a move.
Yep, and that's the downside, unfortunately. And whatever they did to Alexander Rowe's car, he sure isn't liking it. Oh, he's looking and set. No, he's not going to get there. He's probably going to set himself up for the bus stop coming up. And then the other question is, could he put the bumper to him?
I would.
This early?
Possibly. I don't know.
I mean, because... I don't know, see, if I put the bumper to someone this early, I'd see it as he owes me one later.
Right.
See, he loses a little that time. The problem is he has to brake a little earlier to not run over that 14. I mean, he could dive it in, but then he's going to mess up the corner for both of them, and neither that 9 or the 77 can benefit.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
I would say the first sector of the track, he's got him. And he sets it up nicely, but once we get to the bus stop, that's where he just isn't aggressive enough. And who knows, the 35 could just be content with riding around as well. Because obviously he doesn't need to win to advance, he just needs a solid finish. Someone like Zach Fitzwater needs a win, and needs it bad. And he just closed in on 4th and 3rd. Keep an eye on that 4. He's also won on a road course this season. And the 35 is there.
Yeah, he's there.
He looked low. 14 said no. I believe right about now he's going to try to force that 14 into a mistake.
Can he do it?
Oh man, the question is, can he play mind games, or is he going to have, like I said earlier, is he going to be able to play mind games with this 14, or will he just go straight and use the bumper? He's a lot closer than he's been. He's been slowly but surely working him over. Oh, the 14 slides a little.
Can 35 get there? Also, you got to think of another pit stop too.
Yes, they do. And of course, that'll put the pressure all on this 14 pit crew, as well as the 35 pit crew. I'll tell you, he's right there. He's doing everything he can to try to work it over. Let's try and go on board with this 35 and show you just how close he gets. Let's see, I think we got a front bumper cam. And there we go. That's always fun on a road course.
He's losing ground.
Yeah, he lost a little that time. Maybe they're going to pit and that's why he's backing off. I don't know. I mean, if I was in this situation, I'd be right on his bumper trying to force, you know, something on the pit lane. Try to enter too wide. Oh, he closes it all up there. Fourteen's low. And they're both going to dive in. 77's going to stay out, so will the 4. Some strategy being played. And Diego Yepes goes to the lead. Of course, the big battle we need to keep an eye on is this 14 and the 35 on the pit lane. Oh, it's going to be left sides only.
Wow.
Looks like the 14 had a way better stop. But the 35 is going to close it all up coming off the pit lane. And now the eyes are up here. What will Diego Yepes and Zach Fitzwater do? Trevor Collins is back there too. He stayed out. '77's gonna come in this time. And will either of these two do fuel only? And try to take the lead away? And if I'm Zach Fitzwater, I'm probably going to pull that move.
I would too.
I mean, you've got a lot to lose in this race.
51 stays out.
51 is staying out the extra lap. No, it's going to be left sides. I don't like this call by Rodney Childers. This is a race they need to win.
They just came across the line to take the 14 and the 30. Oof.
Oh, here we go. It's going to be close.
Beat him out.
Yep, he beat him out. And he beat out the 35. They're not too far behind Jeff Scott, so he's not going to want to stay out too long. I think he's going to pit. Yep, Jeff Scott is in. Alexander Rowe, he's going to get a huge lead out of this.
Oh, huge lead.
What happened to the 35? I think the 35 might have gotten shoved.
Oof.
And he just lost a handful of positions. And now he's under pressure from the 88 of Dick Clark. And the more positions they lose, the more points they're losing out on. There's a battle for second.
Yellow's out.
Yellow is out. This could end the race. In fact, I think it will. I can't exactly see what it was.
That's weird.
And Alexander Rowe may go back to back.
He probably will.
Yep, this will end the race. We definitely won't get restarted with this. So if Alexander Rowe stays out, which he should, he will likely win this race. Let's go see what happened. We mentioned this is not a good place to pass, and Hillary Sanchez, I believe she won this race last season. She just went full send into the corner.
Oh, absolutely.
Her into heartburn turn, tried everything she could to get around Rihanna G there for 17th. Bounces off the wall, bounces off the 66. Oh man, and just about wrecked a good day for the 32 team. That is a tough break. And we'll see the finish. Well, we had Trevor Collins go back to back earlier in the season at Martinsville and Milwaukee. Alexander Rowe, he won last race to advance to the round of 16 or to the round of 8. And guess what? He's going to win back to back.
Wow.
2 races in a row. He wins at the ROVAL. And his second road course victory of the season. His 3rd win this season. And what a day for Alexander Rowe. Complete domination. We thought the 35 would have something for him. It just didn't materialize. And we'll see how this impacts their playoffs. We're about to show you in a few seconds the final standings and who will advance. But something tells me this guy might not be so lucky. And that would be about the story of his Jello Cup career, sadly. But either way, it's been a career year for Zach Fitzwater if it does end today. I don't know about Stacy Stickler. She should be good. But we'll find out who's good and who's not in 15 seconds as we're going to show you your results right now. Well, clearly I don't know how to count because Zach Fitzwater advances by 3 points. Patrick Smith also advances. And Tim Horton, Gene Sanford, Mohammed Zain Abdullah, and Brad Stover, their seasons come to an end here.
That's tough.
But for the 8 guys who will advance, they are now 1 step closer to being Jello Cup Championship 4 drivers and a championship.
That's good.
And good for Fitzy, of course, and all these guys. And Alexander Rowe, he has been on a hot streak. How about this? 3 of those drivers are Stuart Haas drivers. So I think you know who's the threat to go to the championship 4.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
and we will see, of course, another thing I'm noticing, Ford. There's at least 5 of them that are Fords. We got very few Chevys, 2 Toyotas. If I'm not mistaken, I think the only Chevrolet left is Tim Randolph.
Wow.
And Chevy has won. Chevy is responsible for 4 of the driver championships so far. Could that streak come to an end?
Right.
I mean, the odds are not in their favor at this point, with only 1 representative left. So we shall see. Austin, thanks for joining us again.
And a pleasure.
And we will see you for Talladega. Till then, goodbye, everyone.